Und du siehst ja den Livestream, gell? Du siehst den Livestream, das dann. Ja, super. Und dann musst du den Tab wahrscheinlich stumm schalten.
Ja.
Ja.
Das
wird wahnsinnig.
jetzt auch rein können hier.
All right. Hello and good morning. We're still waiting for a few participants. Good morning, everyone. So shall we wait like another 3 or 4 minutes? Is that all right for you? I see some nodding. Sounds good. And then we start at 10:05. We start with the presentations. So also maybe for project partners, the live stream is also on. So if you want to inform your social media masters, if they want to share it, they could just use the link that we provided in the description for the event on the website. But also for you as the guests, of course, feel free to share the link. So that the results of today are not only going to be relevant today, but also for the future, of course. Still more and more people coming in. And in just a few moments, this is going to be our agenda. So quite packed until 12 o'clock, but I promise you, I think I can promise that it's going to be very fast, actually, until it's 12 o'clock. And a lot of information. So there's still people joining, I think. One more minute and we start. Jetzt? Im Bildschirm sogar.
Ja,
ja.
Ich sehe
Passt, ja.
Ich sehe ihn.
So. I think it's 5:05. I think we start. Hello and welcome to today's presentation of the CERVINO platform Energy data, I think, is the topic of the state of climate change, of what we are going to have to do in the future to even reach those ambitious goals for the Alpine space. And before we start with today's program, we would like to show you a little trailer that we provided for you to kind of like present what those last 1.5 years and nearly 2 years have been about. So bear with us and yeah, enjoy a little trip. I thought this is going to go smoother, sorry. There we go. Every time we drive, we know how fast we drive. But what is the speed of the energy transition in the Alps? This is the question that CERVINO is going to answer.
This project will facilitate the sharing of energy data in the Alpine space.
So we developed this data collection platform to allow the regions to include energy data. And we also would like this to be the tool in the future where regions can upload updated values when they have. So hopefully this tool will be more automatic, and also the survey will be more automatic in the future.
So we developed two main features to communicate and disseminate the data that we gathered. The first one is a map enabling the user to visualize every region in the EUSALP regions, and to visualize for each of these regions various indicators that we created from the data collected. And the second feature is a simple dashboard tool. So we created some dashboards on various topics like energy production, energy consumption, and so on. And so the user can choose for each of these dashboards a region to show the data linked to this dashboard, and to have like a quick portrait of the energy transition in each region.
So now you nearly met the whole team, but there's more people to the project CERVINO. But before you get to know the rest of them, we welcome Nuno Madeira as our project officer from the Joint Secretariat of the Alpine Space Program. And Nuno, I hope you can hear us.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you.
That's nice. So if I may ask you for your welcome address, that would be great.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to say a few words about the project, obviously, but also about the program and why the program decided to invest in the CERVINO project. As you might know, the CERVINO or CERVINO project is co-financed by the Interreg Alpine Space Program, which is deeply rooted in the in the European Union cohesion policy, whose purpose is to reduce the disparities among regions, and at the same time improve the level of performance across the territory covered by the program. In the 21-27 programming period, we have decided to introduce a new typology of projects, which we call the small-scale projects, whose purpose is to bring on board stakeholders who might not be familiar with the program rules, or just are interested in cooperating at transnational level, but do not but do not need necessarily to be involved in a long-term project. So here we have introduced, so to meet this demand from our stakeholders and potential applicants, we have decided to introduce a new typology of cooperation through the small-scale projects, which is how the CERVINO project is being co-financed. From our side, it became very much clear that the small-scale projects would be an opportunity to address disruptive topics in which the program is very much interested in learning new ways to cooperate on topics that are definitely key priorities to us. Specifically, the energy efficiency and the energy transition, which is addressed through this project. So in this regard, we became very much interested in co-financing these projects. When I say we, I mean obviously the member states became very much interested in co-financing this project, because it would represent, as it was already mentioned in the video, an opportunity to facilitate the exchange and the visualization of energy data, which is I would say a key issue or a key priority in recent years in the European Union. So in this regards, we are very much enthusiastic about what we are going to learn here today, not only because we have a tool in place to exchange and visualize data, but also there's a section which I put a lot of faith on, which is the roadmap for future or regular surveys and data collection, which in a way will provide, let's say, or explain the sustainability of this tool. So without any further ado, these were, let's say, the words I wanted to share with you, and I hope that today's discussion can bring forward the CERVINO tool in the long term. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nuno. We really appreciate that you had the time today and took your time to join this meeting and also to watch our presentation. And on the other hand, thank you also for really accompanying us through this sprint, because as you mentioned, small-scale projects are new to all of us. So we had to achieve a lot in a short amount of time. And so therefore, I'm very happy to introduce to you our lead partner and our project coordinator, Francesca Verrado, from Agenzia Regionale Ligure. And let's see if that will work. Hold on. Francesca, can you hear us?
Yes, good morning.
Yes, good morning. May I also ask you for your welcome address?
Yes, just a few words to welcome to everybody, and thank you for being here today at the CERVINO dissemination webinar. As you already heard from Nuno Madeira, CERVINO is a small-scale project which have been founded in the framework of the Interreg Alpine Space Program. The main objective is to facilitate energy data exchange within the Alpine territory. The project started in September 2022, and now we are in our last month of activity. Today we are happy and also proud to share with you our results. So the results we achieved in this 18 months of project. This morning we have the opportunity to present you our energy data platform for the Alps that we developed during the duration of the project. We started from the conviction that reliable data are essential for energy policy, and so we improved the EUSALP energy survey developed in 2017 and implemented in 2019 to arrive to a smart tool, easy to feed and easy to consult, that allows intuitive visualization of energy data, as well as to elaborate energy regional profiles and to compare regional performance. We are convinced that this platform represents a very useful tool for political decision makers in Alpine regions. So just to conclude, I would like to thank the Interreg Alpine Space Program, in particular Nuno Madeira, for giving us the opportunity to work in this interesting project. I would like also to thank EUSALP and the members of the Action Group 9 for their feedback and the support they gave us during the implementation of the project. And finally, I would like to thank you, the panel of CERVINO, because it was a great pleasure to work with you. I think it's time to start. We have a lot of things to share with you today, so I leave the stage to my colleague and enjoy the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Francesca, for this introduction. And yes, as you mentioned, we have a lot to cover today, and I think we can jump right in. Let me just see if I can share my screen and quickly give you an overview of the of today's scope. Let's see if that works now. So we already achieved the first part of our mountain hike, which is the welcome address, of course. And today we are not going to make it all the way to the peak. I don't know if some of you might recognize this peak, by the way, but we might do like a little traverse here. And in the end, it'll be a lot of time for question and answers. But in the beginning, we're going to look at the energy survey itself. As Francesca mentioned, there have been already energy surveys before in the Alpine space. But this time, and probably as you can see through this whole morning, our goal was not only to do an updated version of this survey, but more like a continuous workflow. And so if you compare it, maybe just imagine the first surveys were kind of like pictures in a very high detail. And our goal was to make movies. So that's kind of like the running pictures. And so, of course, there had to be a new workflow developed, like the data collection platform. Additionally, we also had to visualize, of course, this data. And also there we're going to have colleagues presenting the results. And as Nuno mentioned already, very important step is, of course, what's going to happen after today, after February 2024. How is this project going to affect the future, of course? Let's jump right in, and I may welcome our colleagues from Slovenia, Živa, from the Energy Agency of Savinska, Zaleska and Koroška region, if I pronounce it halfway right. I hope, Živa, that's all right for you.
Very good.
I'm sorry if I butchered those names. Yes, let's try if you could share your screen, and we will see what data you collected and who participated in the in this survey.
Right, okay. Thank you for giving me a word. Welcome. My name is Živa Marić-Vovk. I'm from Energy Agency Xena from Slovenia. And in this project, we were responsible for the part of the project of the conducting of the implementation of the actual EUSALP energy service. So for the data collection part. Okay, so now I will try to share my screen. Okay, so I will make a short introduction, although some of this information has already been well presented in the introductory words. The macro-regional strategy for the Alpine region, EUSALP, was launched in 2015, kind of as a unique cross-border collaborative effort to address the common challenges that are faced by the regions of this specific geographical area that is the Alpine space. So the EUSALP territories span across 7 countries: Austria, France, Germany, Italy, Slovenia, and 2 non-EU countries, Liechtenstein and Switzerland. But of course, to be able to address these common challenges that these Alpine regions face, there is a need for consolidated energy data to be able to facilitate the decision-making process, to be able to implement and monitor energy policies. And this data, of course, needs to be collected and analyzed on a regular periodical basis. So for this reason, in 2017, the online EUSALP energy survey was developed and implemented for the first time. This survey was sent out to regional stakeholders of the EUSALP territory to collect their energy data. And this was the first attempt at establishing a consistent monitoring system for the energy data for the Alpine macro region. And then in 2019, a second EUSALP energy survey was launched and implemented, and this was already a step towards achieving this periodical updating of the energy data. And then again in 2023, this challenge was undertaken for the 3rd time, this time by the partners of the CERVINO project. And like you heard before, this time we tried to modernize the process. So we moved away from the questionnaires that were used in 2017 and 2019 and developed an energy data collection tool with the objective of achieving improved data collection, improved processing, and also to create a possibility to visualize key energy data. So in this way, we try to address some shortcomings of the previous EUSALP energy service. Of course, besides developing the new online data collection tool, one of the primary aims of the CERVINO project was also to redesign the energy service from the 2017 and 2019 with the idea to maximize regional involvement, regional willingness to participate. And this requested an analysis of the previous data requirements and drafting a new set of energy indicators. So when the analysis was made by the CERVINO partners, it highlighted the importance of selecting energy indicators for the new version of the energy survey for which the level of data availability is high. So this also meant limiting the number of indicators, putting more emphasis on the quality of the data, minimizing the issue of missing data. And with that in mind, it was also determined to categorize this newly developed set of indicators into two groups. First were core data, which were essential for comparing the energy profiles among EUSALP regions. And then we also have additional data, which provide useful information to the core ones, but not being mandatory or not being fundamental, but were like optional indicators that can provide more in-depth insights in case if this information is available in a certain region. So in the 2023 EUSALP Energy Survey, only the category with core data was mandatory. And with this, as I mentioned before, we try to address shortcomings identified from the previous survey, particularly in regards to missing data, unavailable data, and also we were focused on reducing the effort required from regions to complete the survey. The tool for implementation of the EUSALP Energy Survey was made available in May of last year. So then in the months that followed, the survey was implemented for the third time, and we try to engage regional stakeholders to provide their energy data through this newly developed online tool. So, of course, also besides the primary objective of obtaining energy data from the regions, the implementation of the survey also served as a testing of this tool that we have developed. We try to test its capacity to bring improved automation, improved cost effectiveness, and also to test its capacity to lay the groundwork for more efficient periodic updates of the energy data in the future for the Alpine macro region. The EUSALP Energy Survey of 2023 included 26 regions. It followed closely the division into the territorial units at NUTS 2 level, which corresponds to regions. But because of lack of regional governments or regional divisions in some countries, and because of energy data on regional level not being available in other countries, there were some exceptions that we have made, specifically for Slovenia, Liechtenstein, and Switzerland, which were considered as a homogeneous territories for the purpose of this survey, which means the data was only collected on a national level, NUTS 2 level. And exception was also made for France and Germany, where the data was collected at NUTS 1 level. This level corresponds to groups of regions or groups of states, because NUTS 2 level is not really being used as an administrative body in these countries, and data is not easily available on the NUTS 2 level. So this is the 26 territories as regions that were identified and then included in the survey of 2023. Okay, so what was the data collection process like? As I mentioned, the survey kickstarted in May of last year, and the communication process began with CERVINO partners reconnecting with regional contexts from the previous surveys, and similarly as with the previous surveys of 2017 and 2019, the communication was primarily focused on regional representatives that were part of various kinds of organizations, including regional governments, ministries, statistical offices, regional and national energy agency. A very significant supporting role was also undertaken by the EUSALP Action Group members. So after the launch of the tool and of the survey, persistent communication and efforts were necessary by the CERVINO partners to establish this successful initial communication with the regions. And while the project aimed to create this self-sustaining system by developing this user-friendly online tool to improve engagement, to improve response rate, this was of course achieved to some extent, because the level of regional cooperation varied greatly between countries and between regions. As it turns out, the data collection process was extensive, and it demanded continuous input from CERVINO partners, establishing bilateral interactions with regions to maintain their level of interest, motivation throughout the data collection process. Also, CERVINO partners needed to invest extra effort in guaranteeing the consistency of the data that was entered in the tool, and at several stages of the data collection process, this inserted data needed to be validated. So what is the status of collected data? From 26 regions that participated, a total of 20 regions provided the data for 2023 energy survey. The scope of data provided varied between regions. The chart shows the percentage of the data provided, and it indicates 3 groups in which the data was categorized. Not completed refers to data that has not been entered in the survey. Not available indicates the data that was marked as not being available by the respondents, and available refers to the data that was entered in the tool by the respondents and also checked and validated by the CERVINO partners. So overall, with the regard to all 26 regions, it shows that 29% of all required data across all involved regions was provided in the end, and 80% of data was identified as not being available. Also, a high share of 52% data was not provided, was not entered, but this 52% also includes the additional data, the non-mandatory data. So the data that we collected through this survey was the data for 4 years, between the years 2018 and 2021, also with the idea to normalize the impact of COVID years that had severe impact on the energy statistics. The overall share of data availability across 4 years remained moderately constant. For each year, just over 30% of data was provided by the respondents, with the exception of 2018, that was a little bit lower. So now if you look separately at the core data and at the additional data, for the core data, this percentage looks a little bit better. The core data was mandatory data, essential for comparing energy profiles among EUSALP regions. And 33% of data was not completed, not provided, and 36% of data was available and was provided in the survey. As expected, this share looks a little bit different with the additional data that was not considered mandatory, and here a high share of 78% of data was not provided. So how could we describe the actual regional cooperation? As mentioned before, there were deviances between regions with which we participated or cooperated. Certain regions exhibited high response rates, high interest. Some regions, despite the proactive involvement of CERVINO partners, were not as willing to put as much effort in this task. For Italy, Germany, and France, we can describe the regional cooperation quite satisfactory, with many regions that responded swiftly, were eager to participate, and kind of show considerable level of interest. However, in each of these countries, there were also some regions that for which the level of responsiveness was moderate or low. The responsiveness from Austrian regions was notably low, and in the end, a handful of Austrian regions were willing to participate, and a lot of the regions that were willing to participate left the service uncompleted. We were also unsuccessful with Liechtenstein, and no data was provided for this country. But for Slovenia and Switzerland, the data was provided, but as mentioned before, as countries as a whole. So in any way, the data collection process required significant effort from the partners, from the CERVINO partners, but it also provided us with better understanding of where we stand, what it takes to be able to put in place such broad cross-regional data collection system, considering all different levels of regional motivation, their different levels of understanding of the necessity of such tool. So in any way, in the aftermath of the project, more effort will need to be put in this to achieve even stronger regional commitment. So during the data collection process, we try to identify major challenges or obstacles in a way of establishing a really, really strong regional commitment. And the first challenge that we identified was the time constraint. This emerged as a primary challenge, given that the survey does require a significant amount of time, effort. It also requires some research to be completed accurately. And regional administrations, organizations do not always have the capacity to invest personal resources, time resources in something like this that is outside the scope of their mandatory scope of work. Also, the non-mandatory nature of the test, because this survey relies solely on the voluntary willingness to participate, can be recognized as an obstacle in a way of a successful engagement of regions. And the third challenge revolved around the, in some cases, not all, but in some cases, lack of recognition of the added value of this tool that we have developed and the Alpine Energy Data Platform, where this data will be visualized, because some regions fail to grasp the benefits of having such standardized and structured tool for data collection and visualization. And this is partly due to fact that they already have well-established data collection systems in their regions or in their countries. But this actually only means one thing, that it is crucial for us to emphasize more of what are the actual advantages of what we have created in the CERVINO, what we have developed, because in this tool, which is being able to compare the data across all Alpine regions, to be able to aggregate data across Alpine regions effectively. And this is the main purpose of what we have created. As a conclusions, there are three more observations that maybe it's worth pointing out that we noticed. The first kind of observation, or it could be also a challenge, is the complexity of the energy statistics, that in some cases also pose a significant kind of challenge in ensuring quality, reliability, comparability of the data, because there is a significant difference in how data is acquired and monitored and documented in different countries. And this non-uniformity sometimes makes it difficult for the respondents to provide accurate data without doing the prior research and without being able to recognize what kind of data the survey actually requires from them. We put, or the responsible partners in the CERVINO project, put a lot of effort in this tool, and each indicator is very well explained. But for someone without technical or energy-related knowledge, which is oftentimes the case, it still requires time and research. The second point or observation to point out is also the feedback that we have collected from the regions after the official part of the energy collection or the official part of the survey ended. We collected feedback on the usefulness of the tool, of their user experience of the tool. And it's worth mentioning that none of the regions highlighted any challenges when using the tool, and in general, based on the feedback, we can assess that the tool performed very well. So it can be, the tool actually brought only added value, a step forward in these efforts of achieving periodic data collection. And the tool itself, like I mentioned, performed very well. So the challenges are, of course, elsewhere, in some cases in willingness or effort that the regions are willing to put in this task. So yeah, and the last point, from now on, in the aftermath of the project, of course, promotion is crucial. Periodic and systematic data collection is the foundation for informed decision-making and regional planning. And we noticed that regions that recognize this from the get-go were the regions that were eager to participate and were more likely to invest time in this survey. So the key is, of course, in the continued promotion of the benefits of having such cross-regional approach. And this, of course, should be considered a priority in the aftermath of this project. Okay, so thank you. That is all. If you have any questions, otherwise I think there will be time for questions after the presentations.
Thank you very much, Shiva, for this introduction into a very hard job and task.
Yes, thank you.
And it is tough. On the other hand, it is really important to always make sure that people know about this survey and that we collected all this contact data. And on the other hand, big thank you to all of those who participated and took the time and the effort to read through all those explanations. Next in line for us is Valentina D'Alonso from EURAC Research in Bolzano. And what EURAC did is we already heard from Shiva that many regions collected their data in very different ways. And so Valentina, you and your team, you thought about a way how you can maybe feed Excel files, maybe feed some CSV files, maybe feed some HTML files, any kind of things into one system. And therefore, now the floor is yours, Valentina. Please show us how you achieved it to collect all this data from those very different regions into one system.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Stefan, and good morning, everyone, also from my side. So yes, as said, for the CERVINO project, we as EURAC developed this web-based platform that is meant to include and update energy data. And thanks to this platform, we also conducted the EUSALP Energy Survey 2023, as was just presented. So yeah, today I'm going to show you how to include data and how to update, hopefully also in the future. So this tool was meant to be a user-friendly and easy to use a platform. So I'm going to share my screen and let me know if you see it, please. Okay, so
yes, looks good.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, you have to go to this link, cervino.eurac.edu, and you will be directed to this page. So if you already have accessed the platform, you just have to log in. If you did not have access before, here you find the would like to join link. So here we ask you to include some information, so your name, the institution, the email, and then you have to select a country or a region. So each account should be, let's say, connected to a EUSALP area. Then you have to accept our terms and conditions and our privacy policies that you can also download and read. And then request the access. Then we are going to, let's say, evaluate your request, check if the email, let's say, sender is valid, and then give for sure the access. And here you can also find our contacts. So my colleague Aaron, who developed actually the platform, and me are more than happy to also answer your question and also fix some technical problem. So yes, coming back to the login page. So if you are, let's say, you set your credential, then you are going to log in the platform. And yes, and so you will land to the platform. So the first step is this getting started. So here you find some slides that will guide you in the compilation of the survey. So here are explained the main steps, the main sections of the platform. And so it's something, like a tutorial that you can consult at the beginning. And if you close the tutorial, you can also find here. So in the upper menu under support, you will find this getting started and also a feedback section. where you will have our contacts, but also if you like to send some feedback or comment. So yes, this is the main page. As you see, for sure, this is a demo, so it's an empty survey, let's say, but it's just to show you. So in the main page, you have categories and subcategories on the left. So we have all these categories, and for each of them, we have subcategories, and in the middle of the page, you have the indicators required. So as you see, here we provided different lines for each subcategory. For the indicators, here you have the field to compile the values, to include the values, the unit of measurement. We decided to include let's say, the most frequent ones. Then we have the data quality section. This means that we asked you to evaluate the quality of data. So primary means mainly that are accurate values at regional level. Instead, secondary data quality means that are estimated value or maybe derived from national level. Then you have the space to include the data source that is really important for us, also in view to, let's say, understand where are, let's say, this kind of data, where we can find them, also for the future, let's say, of the survey. And then you can also leave some comments. So if you click here, you will have this box for leave comment that can be more information, more detail, or maybe a reason because I don't know, the unit of measurement is different from the ones that you use. So any kind of information that you want to provide. In general, if you don't have data, so that if data are not available, you can disable the data. This is also one important information for us to see which are also the categories of data that are not available. And as Ziva mentioned before, we divided the indicators in core data and additional data. So for each of the subcategory, you will find a bold, let's say, indicator and some italics ones. So remember that, yes, the bold one that is always activated are the core data, and the italics ones are the additional data. And for default, the additional data are disabled. But of course, if you have and regions included also some of them, you can always enable data and include all the information required. You can save a draft, the draft anytime. So anytime you want to save what you are doing, then you can also log out and log in again, and you will find for sure all the data that you already included. They are saved, and you can go on compiling the survey in another moment. You see that also we added some information where you find this eye icon is where, yes, we include some information. You have this box appearing when you go on the icon, but you can also click on it, and you will have a window with all the, let's say, definitions that we applied for the survey, and also the source. We try to use Eurostat as, let's say, mainly source for the definition of the indicators. And yes, and also here, yes, you find more information about the different, let's say, fields. So this is, let's say, the main page. and is composed by, as I said, categories, subcategories, and the years. So here you find the different years. As said, we performed the survey from 2018 to 2021. So we also recently did the 2022. So if someone wants to start including data, updated data, we will be super happy. But we also provided a different view, a different way to include data. So if you go, for example, I will save the draft just to go on. If you go here in the upper menu, now we are in the by category here, but you can also switch in the by year. That means that you will have the indicators to choose. So in this menu, and then you have all the years for the same indicators, because we thought that maybe for some regions would be more, they maybe have the different values for different years for the same indicator, so would be also easier to compile the survey in this way. And so this is the, let's say, the second way to compile the survey. The third one is if you go to this actions button, you can also download a spreadsheet file. You can work on it offline, so include all the data and do all the, let's say, elaboration needed, and then you can upload the same file to the platform, and all the data will be then included and visible also in the online, let's say, tool. So these are, yes, the three, let's say, possibility to include data. And if you also want to have the explanations and the definitions printed out, or if you want to consult them in different moments, you can download also a PDF file here with where there is this little icon, and here you will have this PDF with the overview of all the indicators divided in categories, subcategories, core, and additional data. And you will also have the definitions. So as I said, we provided mainly Eurostat definitions, but you can find them here. And so you can, we thought that would be also useful to have, let's say, a support file. And so, yes, when you have, let's say, compiled, go out back in and compile all the information that you have, and you think that the survey is concluded, you can submit everything. So here you will say send us a notification that you think that the survey is completed, and you are going to send us all the data. You can for sure also come back and modify or update data. As I said, hopefully we will have updated version of the data, and you can for sure save work and then submit again everything. And yes, we will receive a notification and check the new data included. So yes, this is everything from my side. And if there will be some questions later, I will be happy to answer them.
Thank you very much, Valentina, for this great introduction. I think if we stick with this image of the hike, now we kind of like have a backpack full of data. And the issue is still how we're going to visualize them. And so from what Shiva mentioned, we contacted all the people. Then we had this energy survey platform to collect the data. And now the question is, how are we actually going to display this platform, this energy data? And therefore, I am very happy that the colleagues from Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes are here with us today, and I welcome Mathieu Denou from Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes Energy and Environment Agency, and EURAC and Aura EE or 2E had to work closely together, so compliment to both of you for actually transferring all the data successfully from like collecting it from the whole Alpine space, sending it over from Bolzano to Lyon, where Aura 2E worked on this data. And so, yes, thank you very much, Valentina, for presenting the collection of data. And now let's jump right into the visualization. One aspect I forgot, sorry. Valentina and your colleague, Aaron, did a very detailed, in-depth video about how to use this platform. There's like a brief one just to get an overview, and there's also a very detailed one getting pretty much into each and every single detailed function of this platform. So feel free to watch it after this conference today, and in order to get acquainted with the system. Thank you very much, Valentina. And so, Mathieu, I think the floor is yours.
Okay.
Probably it would be nice if we see your screen. Yes, correct.
Okay, should be good. Thank you
I
very
think we
much.
can see your screen. Yes.
Introduction.
Thank you.
I'm happy to present after Ziva and Valentina, because I like your metaphor of the climbing the mountain, and hopefully now we are going to have some view on the landscape that we worked hard to be able to visualize, as you said. So the platform, the Alpine Energy Data Platform, is available online. You can already go to this URL. I think Cornelia will send the link in the chat. And this platform is based on all the data collected by EURAC data collection tool that we automatically imported inside and that we are going to visualize. As you heard in the teaser at the beginning of the presentation, we have two main tools available for anyone visiting the website. The first one is just a map with the various indicators on the left that you will be able to visualize. And the second one is some dashboards that you can also look at. So first, for the indicators, the first thing to do is to select a territory that you want to study. So here I will study the whole EUSALP macro region and all the region inside this EUSALP perimeter. For the indicators, of course, we imported some examples from Eurostat data. So just like surface area, detailed population, that you are able to visualize. It's very basic data based on Eurostat data. But what is more interesting today is the energy-related indicators. So we built 3 groups, one on energy consumption, one on energy production, and the final one on energy transition. And for each group, you will have a small set of indicators. So we decided not to create an extensive list of indicators based on the results, but to create more detailed and more interesting indicators that gather some of the values that people filled in the data collection platform. So the first one could be final energy consumption. And once I click on this indicator, you will see that the map will be filled with some circles, which size depends on the value of final energy consumption in the territory. So for example, here I can see that as we have some detail about Austria, we have quite rather small circles compared to the big circles of German and French regions, which are much more populated. So I am able to check that it's kind of related to the population inside those regions. Of course, you can see that there are some missing circles for some cases, and we added above this a warning. on the right of the screen. And this warning lists all the regions that did not provide data related to this indicator or sub-indicators in the data collection tool. So this warning will be very useful when you want to extract some data from the platform, because you will know precisely which could be the missing data from the indicator you are currently visualizing. A second thing that is quite interesting on this right screen is the two buttons located here. The first one allows to export the data, either for a single year or for all years available in Excel or CSV file. So if anyone wants to perform some different analysis, some new data visualization based on this data, it's available through this button. And the second one is the methodology file. It's just a PDF file that gathers all the sources used for the various indicators that build this main final energy consumption. So for each region, for each year, because sometimes it varies depending on the year, you will see the list of the sources used by the people that filled in the data collection platform. So using these three elements, you should be able to have all metadata around the indicators that are provided through our Alpine energy data platform. So back to the visualization part, we maybe remove this. So we have, of course, the map that is available with all the regions with the data, but we also have a circular diagram located in the bottom of the screen. And this gives for the whole macro region the detailed consumption depending on the sector. So you see that we have, of course, the main sectors consuming energy are, of course, residential sector, transport sector, and industry sector. But if you want to have a little zoom at a region, for example, I can take my own region, because I'm French, so I'm proud of my region. So you see that for a single region, you can also have access to the details of this final energy consumption inside my region. So it's quite powerful to have such details for the indicators, and it's also true for other indicators. So for example, if I take the electricity capacity installed, I will have also the details between hydropower, solar PV, and wind power throughout the regions. As I mentioned before, we have some years available. So if you want to look at the past values, you can still modify the year that is displayed on the map. So I don't know if there's much changes here, but you can always change the value here to maybe to have a more precise analysis of the past trend, maybe. Okay, so I visualized final energy, I visualized some electricity production related. You can also have some look at transport sector and charging points for electric vehicles. So here we arrive in what Ziva presented before with indicators that might be missing from many regions. So it's hard to have a look at like the global point of view on electric vehicles charging points. But still we have the ability to look at some regions that do provide the numbers, and it's still a good start maybe to work for cooperation between the regions. So that was for the first most important part of the tool, the map with the indicators. The second tool available is dashboards. The idea of the dashboard is simply to have an overview. So I will go back to my region. Is to have an overview for a single region of various indicators that are gathered on the same page. And so you have a single page that gathers all these indicators, and you can look at whenever you want or on whatever territory you want. So here I have a general dashboard on a region, and I will be available to change the region and to select any other region and to have access to the same page. So anyone can have a quick overview of here some indicators that we chose, but you will see later that you can also choose your own indicators and create your own dashboard. So here you have energy production related indicators with a graph of historical values. And you can always export the file either as an image or as a data set as previously. If you click on this, you will be brought back to the map with this indicator displayed on the map. So I can do it, and I will be able, yes, I will be able to visualize my indicator, electricity capacity installed for the region I was looking at, just as intended. So back to the dashboard, you can see that we have all indicators that are displayed either as historical evolution curves or as circular diagrams for a single year that provide like a more detailed visualization of what represents today here the electricity production. And so this tool is quite useful because you have a quick overview of all the major indicators on one single place. And of course, you can do it on one single territory. But one feature that we implemented during the CERVINO project is the ability to compare one single territory with another one. So here, for example, I will take my favorite comparison region, Baden-Württemberg from Germany. So the dashboard would be separated, divided in two parts, one on the left, one on the right. And on the left, you will have the values for the French region. And on the right, you will have the values for the German region. So you have the same indicators, the same visualization, the same representation, but for each region. So you are able to compare the trends. So here, of course, we have a very different electricity capacity in France because we have a lot of hydropower plants, and in Germany they have a lot of solar power plants. You can see also that in France we still use a lot our nuclear power plants, and in Germany this share is slowly decreasing throughout the years. You can also see the impact of COVID in both regions. But of course, as nuclear power plants are still used a lot during COVID, it's less easy to visualize on the French curve than it is on the German curve, and so on. So this tool is quite useful to visualize two different regions and to compare them between each other. Of course, sometimes the data will not be available, so it will be written on the indicator when it's the case. But for any indicator, if there are some missing data, so for example, if I go back to the main EUSALP macro region and I display the same the same dashboard, you will see that there are some disclaimers similarly to what was on the map that say that warning, you are looking at EUSALP data, but EUSALP data is not complete. So you are still missing some values that we haven't for this specific indicator for these years. So when you use this, please pay attention to this warning message that gives some details about that. So that's for the main the main tools available for anyone visiting the website. I think Stefan mentioned it before with the EURAC presentation, what Valentina presented. We created some videos that go much more into details into what is available in the platform and how you can also have access to more tools when you are creating an account. So if you want to create an account, it's quite easy as on EURAC platform. You just have to fill in a small form, and then we will just validate your account. And then once you're logged in, you will have access to two tools that I will not go thoroughly through today, but I will just very quickly describe them. The first one is just a dashboard creation tool. So you can create your own dashboard, select your own indicators that you want to visualize, select the kind of representation that you want to use. For example, here I chose electricity production, I chose stacked curves, and I have my indicator. And once you have created your dashboard, you have added some groups, some indicators, and so on, you can save your dashboard, and then this dashboard will be available for you on the left once logged in, and you will be able to visualize your own dashboard for anyone for any region in EUSALP at any time. One feature that is also interesting is that this dashboard is not private, because of course the data provided are not private. So you can always share using the URL and share this URL to anyone that wants to have access to your dashboard. And the person will be able to visualize the indicator that you chose to gather together. So here I created a smaller dashboard for our final event today with various indicators regarding electricity production, energy consumption. For example, here we can see the trend of energy consumption for the regions that gathered that provided the data, and we can see that the curve is slightly decreasing in the past years. You can see also the gross consumption for fossil fuel is also like having a little decrease based on 2021 efforts, and so on. I also did a focus on transport sector, so I unchecked all sectors that I was not interested in to display only this transport final energy consumption indicator, and so on. So that was just a quick glance at what the dashboard tool can do for you, and you are still able to compare it with other territories if you want. And the final feature that might be very interesting for anyone using the tool is the aggregation tool. The idea of this tool is to be able to create your own aggregations, because as presented before, we have EUSALP, we have all parts of countries that are within EUSALP. So here we have the east of France, the south of Germany, the whole Austria, whole Slovenia, and the north of Italy, as well as, of course, Switzerland. And you have all of the regions, but you don't have some different groups. So if you want, you can create your own perimeter to visualize the data. For example, I created a French-Italian cooperation groups. So here I have a French-Italian group, and here I have a German and Austrian group. I have a small line, but it's just outliers, so don't pay attention to it. So if I visualize, for example, final energy consumption for my custom perimeters, I have here German-Austrian cooperation, of course, completely fictive one, but still I have the value for my regions gathered together. And here I have another value for my French-Italian group. And so this tool is quite powerful, because you can create your own regions to visualize here for the indicators on the map. And you can also visualize any dashboard with these custom perimeters. So for example, if I create a very quick one, I choose my favorite friends, Baden-Württemberg and Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes in France. I put final event group. I save the aggregation. So you see, I just clicked on the map. I just filled in the few parameters here, and I have a new aggregation, which is available. And here I choose my final event group. I will have my two regions, and now I can visualize any dashboard on these two regions that will be gathered together. So here I will have 19 million inhabitants. I don't know if you remember the digits, but it was 8 10.5 for Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes and 10.5 for Baden-Württemberg. So I do have the two regions gathered together. I have the sum of electricity, but of course, here I have the nuclear power plants that are available, but which have a lesser part compared to what was previously before only for France, and so on. So this tool is very useful to have maybe an analysis, a diagnosis for a custom project, either for political cooperation or for Interreg project or EUSALP project, and so on. It can allow anyone to create a custom analysis perimeter and to have access to the indicators gathered at this level. So I think that's all for me. I will be happy to answer any question. Of course, the tool presented, I insisted on open data, the fact that you can always export your own data and so on. And we have also an open source data platform, so you can have access to the source code on a Git repository and contribute if you want, either by just suggesting some features or reporting some bugs, or if you are more interested, you can always dive in the code and try to improve it by yourself. We'd be happy to share this with you. And I will give back the floor to Stefan for the following presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mathieu. This is really impressive what you have done with all this data. And again, as we were able to unify or kind of like make it comparable, the data, you can also see how much visualization potential is actually in this. And I think what is also great, first of all, open source spirit is completely running through this whole platform. And on the other hand, what you do with your aggregation is actually to bring life to this regional cooperation, even though the countries might be different. So I think this is actually the spirit of the Alpine space that is can be seen through this platform. Thank you very much, Mathieu, for this presentation. And again, I think Cornelia already posted the link to our YouTube channel. Please feel free to watch those in-depth tutorials. I think it's not very easy to demonstrate the whole capacity of this platform in like 15 minutes, as Mathieu just tried. Great job though, Mathieu, but there's more detail to every little function. So feel free to watch those tutorials. We also try to make it as comprehensive as possible there. Thank you very much. And now, of course, it is the moment where we also take a look at the roadmap and how from today on this platform is going to live on. And therefore I welcome Silvio Bovia from IRE, from our partners from Liguria. And Silvia, the floor is yours. Please show us what the roadmap is. We were on the peak or close to the peak with the data visualization right now. So we have a good overview of the landscape, as Mathieu said, and therefore I'm very curious about your presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, but we can still see your PowerPoint. So the editing mode. So can you maybe switch to the presentation mode?
Yes.
See if that will work. Yes, now it works. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today in our final webinar. Now I'm going to present you the activities that we run during the project period about the roadmap and how can you establish the Alpine Energy Observatory. That is the final target of our project. So just to remember, because our colleagues has already explained the target of CERVINO, but we have to remember that the CERVINO project objectives are to set up a stable and a reliable system that will enable the collection, the management, and the update of data. And the other objective is the use of the Alpine energy data to support the decision-making policies. So a quick recap about the CERVINO activities that have already been presented. The first one is a new survey simplified through the data collection with a dedicated platform. The second is the visualization tool to show the results and support the decision. It's a very easy to use and easy to show tool. And then we run out the new 2023 survey. The fourth activity that we had focused during this 18 months project is the roadmap. The roadmap had to identify the key elements of the process to ensure the durability of our new energy management tool, and ultimately leading to the establishment of the Alpine Energy Observatory in the mid and long term. So to do this, we try to identify some stages of our roadmap as a process towards the future establishment of the Alpine Energy Observatory. The stage one has some synergies, of course, with other project activities, and is investigating the state-of-the-art of energy data collection in the EUSALP and Alpine regions. Through this stage, we have identified some barriers and some obstacles, and then with the other two stages, we try to give some parallel solutions to these barriers. The stage two is increasing the commitment of the EUSALP regions to regularly add data in the CERVINO energy platform. And the stage three is exploring possible automation or semi-automation mechanisms in the data collection, in the data filling in the platform. So the first one stage is a couple of words more about this one. Investigating the state-of-the-art of energy data collection in the EUSALP regions is a fundamental condition because we need to acquire knowledge of our energy data flows are managed in all the different regional context. In the other activities of the project, we elaborated the Alpine Energy Data Platform, and we, of course, had a format easy survey to compile. So we already achieved some important objectives, but there is still a demand for time and for resources in order to proceed with the data collection and with the data filling in the platform. In fact, it's different from region to region, but often there are a lot of sources, of data sources to check and to contact in order to manage the data collection. So to try to go through these barriers and to try to reduce the time, or in order to have these two parallel solutions to the barriers that we have identified, the stage two is of the roadmap is about increasing the commitment of the EUSALP regions to add to the CERVINO platform the data regularly. And we can do that raising awareness among decision makers and demonstrating the tool validity, the tool usefulness. Because in order to have an update and validated energy pictures of the EUSALP, because as we said, this energy picture of the EUSALP territory could be the fundamental basis of energy policies management of the EUSALP region. And increasing the commitment is a key point in order to ensure that the regional technical offices are entitled to spend time on the data collection and on the data filling in the platform. And to increase This commitment is, of course, essential to show the benefits of the platform. And this could be done through the visualization tool that Matthew presented us before, and by demonstrating some future potentials of our energy CERVINO data platform, such as including the new data, for example, or new functions. We presented the CERVINO Energy Platform to the EUSALP Action Group 9 and Action Group 4 meetings, and we promote this platform. As a first result, we can say that the EUSALP Work Plan 2023 and 2025 identified as a flagship of Action Group 9, the Energy Observatory in the EUSALP, as a fundamental tool in defining and in implementing the long-term energy strategy for the Alpine territory. So we can consider this as an important result and like an endorsement of EUSALP to our energy platform. The stage 3 of our roadmap is exploring possible automation mechanisms between the CERVINO data collection platform that Valentina presented us and the databases or other observatories of energy data that may be present in some EUSALP regions at national or at a regional level. This could be a key point because thanks to possible automation mechanism, we can achieve a precompiled survey with the energy data of multiple sources. And this data, of course, have to be checked and validated by the regions, but the regional technical offices could be able to focus on the checking of data instead of starting the data filling and data collection management for filling the survey from zero. In the framework of this stage 3 of our roadmap, I would like to spend a couple of words more about the case of Italy that we consider as a pilot test, that we ran during the 2023 period of the project. And the case of Italy is important because a lot of Italian regions are part of EUSALP regions, about 7 regions and the 2 provinces of Trento and Bolzano. So during 2023, in strong synergy with the activity one that is about the energy platform. So with the EURAC and the other project partners, we had a collaboration with 2 of the main national authorities in Italy in charge of energy data collection, management, and supply. We established this collaboration in order to explore some possible automation mechanisms between their databases and our CERVINO energy platform. These 2 national authorities are ENEA, that is the National Energy and Economic Development Agency, and GSE, that is the National Authority for the Management of Energy Services. We achieved an high interest by these stakeholders. We had 2 meetings with them, and we collaborated in order to further investigate the correspondence between our CERVINO survey indicators and the data that are available in the energy observatories or energy databases of ENEA and GSA. With them, we have defined some preliminary possible connections and some preliminary automation mechanisms, and they are available to further investigate these possible mechanisms. So, about the stage 3 of the roadmap, we have identified some pros and cons. The pros is that the exploring possible automation mechanisms is a key point in order to reduce time and resources for the compilation of the survey. because we have to remember that our aim is to set up an observatory that could maybe feeds itself ultimately through automatic connection with the existing national or regional databases. And we can do that, we have to do that without compromising the quality of the data. About counts, of course, this process of automation requires to be tailored for different countries, for different regions, according to the various approaches in the energy data management and the energy data flows. And the establishment of the contacts with all the national, regional authorities, all the national data sources in charge of providing energy data is time consuming also because we have to establish these contacts, we have to study with them their data, and we have to ensure the correspondence between the indicators of the energy service and their data, as we've done in Italy. So finally, some conclusions. So it's essential that regions within the Alpine space understand the importance of having updated and complete energy data set available, as well as an easy to consult tool that can allow data processing and data visualization on different scales and different levels. And of course, we strongly believe that this tool could be the CERVINO Energy Data Platform. We can consider CERVINO project as a starting point for the decision-making tool for energy issues at regional and macro-regional level. We realized the new tool for the data collection and visualization. We also have set up very strong stakeholders network. They are in fact very interested in using the platform and in filling it. But of course, we have to more work on and increase this commitment. But the stakeholders are made aware of the potential of new implementation and of new improvements of the survey. And this framework could set up the future conditions to be able to work together again, maybe with possible resource like a new ad hoc project or European programs, in order to achieve together the objective that the CERVINO tool became for real, the EUSALP's reference tool for its own policies and for new project at Alpine space level. And this is all for my side. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you very much, Silvia, for this presentation. And now I think it is time to open the round for discussion and also for questions that you might have. And for this, I'm going to invite all the experts that we had as presenters today also to the floor. I'm going to add all of you, so I think we can see all of you. And yes, there's a question from Alessio. Alessio, please feel free to join us and open your mic.
Yes, good morning, everyone. And thank you very much for the presentation. And first of all, congratulations on the positive results achieved with the CERVINO project. It's a very powerful tool. And as Action Group 5 of EUSALP, which deal with connectivity and digitalization, we are therefore pleased to be able to promote the CERVINO as a relevant platform and tool in the cross-cutting priority on promoting the digitalization of the Alps, which we are developing with different action groups, including Action Group 9. And I have a question. If I understood well, the CERVINO platform is released as open source. So my question is is what could be the effort to adapt this platform to collect other relevant data for EUSALP, such as the connectivity from the regions or the water management, and if it's feasible to have different type of collection in the same platform.
Thank you very
Thank
much for this question. I think it's Mathieu probably who could answer this, and also maybe Valentina, because it also concerns data collection. So Mathieu, maybe first.
I was just going to say that there is two parts to the answer to the question that you asked, Alessio. Thank you for the comments, the kind comments. The first part is on the data collection process, and I will leave Valentina to answer that. And the second part is more like on the visualization part. And of course, we can visualize any data on the platform, so it's not like energy only. We have some tools that allows us also to show some lines or dots if we have some, like, I don't know, some points of interest that you would like to highlight. You were talking about connectivity, so if you have, like, I don't know, some lines to show on the map, it's also doable, even if we didn't have the need for the CERVINO project. So I think that's quite I don't know, realistic to have some other data collected, implemented in the visualization platform. And I will let Valentina answer for the collection platform.
Yes, thank you, Alessio, for your question, your comment. The data collection platform will have the same license that the visualization tool, so will be open source as well. It's not already published on GitLab, but would be for the end of the project. And yes, I think it's one objective also of the project is to enhance cooperation also among action groups of EUSALP. So would be super interesting to maybe discuss in the framework of EUSALP, so let's say intergroups, to how to maybe add a section on other kind of data. And we also had a meeting with the AG related to transport and mobility, because also they are interested in understand how maybe more detailed data concerning transport can be included in the platform. So I think it would be also a really nice output of the project also, let's say, after the end of it, to have this kind of collaboration. And since you also are involved in the EUSALP, maybe this is the right place to, let's say, to collaborate and to go on with this discussion and opportunities to improve the tool in general.
Okay, thank you very much, and of course we will stay in touch also with Etienne. So thank you very much for this answer.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alessio, for your question. And now again, of course, the floor is open. We are also happy that we have representatives from the AG or action groups of EUSALP, of course. And so if there's any other feedback regarding the further use of this platform, feel free to ask a question right now or in the chat. Let me see if I can see the chat as well. We don't have questions yet, but maybe also you could think about future feature requests. Like now if we compare it again, maybe to an iceberg, you saw maybe the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more functions, but if there are any functions that come to your mind right now, please also feel free to let us know. what you think could be helpful for your work in your region or as a EUSALP action group member. I'm just sparing ideas, let's see. And also maybe another way would be to think about how we could also spread the word about this platform, because there's a lot of work and thought that went into this platform. And it would also be great, as we saw from the data collection already, that it is essential that people participate across the EUSALP region in this platform to make it a steady process for the future. And so if you have any ideas or suggestions for us, how we can spread the word, you are very welcome to join us now. But nobody's forced to, it's all right. Seems everything is clear so far. Or it's already approaching 12 o'clock, so and it's a happy Friday, so people are looking for the weekend. That's fine too. So if that is the case and we don't see any questions arising right now, let's take this opportunity maybe to take a group picture. And I'm going to stop the live stream.